Hi guys, it's Sophie. Welcome to Spin a Good Yarn. This is a channel where we talk about knitting, productivity, finishing your WIPs and using up your stash. And for me, 2026 is a year of using my stash. If you haven't already seen my series, I have set up a knitting journal and I'm showing you exactly how I'm planning to use up all of my stash and track using it up. But today is an opportunity to do one of my favourite kinds of videos, which is just like showing you my stash and showing you where we are now. This obviously isn't starting from the beginning. I've been doing this for a little while now, before 2026 as well. But we are hopefully moving house in the beginning of March. So I'm losing the window's opportunity to actually film and show you all of my stash. We're going to go straight into it. It's going to be a fairly long video, so hopefully you're comfy and cosy. Yeah, what should we start with? I think maybe WIPs, right? So I am someone who counts my WIPs as stash, because if I don't, I'll cast on everything and be like, I don't have a stash. So yeah, WIPs are in stash. So the first WIP that I have is this pair, here we are, of scrappy socks, and these are something that I knit up as soon as I get my variegated scraps. So these are currently all my variegated sock yarn scraps. I just have those three there, but I don't want to be repeating colours too much, so I need to wait until I make more variegated scraps to use that bit up. The next one that would make sense probably to show you is actually this WIP, which is my anthology throw. This is my advent project, and I absolutely adore this one. I got Creative Anarchy's advent, so that's how that one's working up. And this is where I'm making a lot of those variegated scraps. So these are my greens that are in the project bag currently for my second colour subset. I am kind of doing it in different groups. But the next two yarns are tonals. So those will be used in a separate pair of scrappy socks. But yeah, so that is still all stashed too. And then it would make sense to show you this box. So this box is my WIP box. And this contains all of my yarn that is awaiting use in WIPs. So we have some more, that was like a weird claw, wasn't it? We'll try and show you them more aesthetically. These are some more of those skeins that are going to go into my anthology throw. I have a fair amount left. I'm not quite halfway through the process of making that one. But that is my pink family just there. And then we have my yellows, which is what we're going to finish the blanket off with. Love this one here, this cinder one, so pretty. And these ones here. So all of these are connected to a WIP, which is partly why, as I say, I can't count this stash as used. I clearly haven't knitted this. This is a lot of yarn. But that is everything at the moment that's sitting in my WIP basket of my stash. I do think my anthology throw is a longer term WIP. Just because it's a knitted blanket, that does take a while, but I am keen to continue working through on that, and definitely we may have to move into rental accommodation between moving from this house and into our new house. And if we do, or my mum's house, dependent on the length of time, I do think I'll take those skeins with me, even though it's a longer term WIP, because I do think I'm actively working on it. I then have most of an Olga jacket. Here it just doesn't have its sleeves, and this one was subject to a mid-project block just to check the fit and things, and I'm okay with it. So I do actually have some more yarn in here that needs to go into this project. It's these two skeins here. I actually have another skein. Where is my other skein? Oh, it's here. It's not already a skein. I have this guy. So yeah, I do need to buy another skein, I think. Unfortunately, I haven't bought myself any yarn yet this year, but another skein of the white to have sufficient meterage to actually finish this. But yeah, so that's stash again, that's to do with that WIP. And I don't have any other skeins in stash, so because I'm so low on that last little bit of green, it's in the bag. And that one has just come off blocking mats this morning, so it hasn't been worked on in a couple of days, but I would say it probably is my main WIP at the moment. And then the last one is just a little cheeky cast on that I did because I was blocking my Olga. And these are a pair of socks for my husband. He loves brightly coloured socks. So I have a big skein left of this hedgehog fibres. I think the colour is Shamrock. I'm using up some scraps of Ghost that I actually knitted a t-shirt in last summer. So yeah, also hedgehog fibres. So this is going to come with me too. I think once I've used up this, or half of this skein, I'll probably use about 50 grams. I will sell the other half to remove that from stash. I just don't think it's like a colour I would see myself knitting another pair of socks in for myself. I'm a muted colour girly, and Tom doesn't need 2 pairs of very similar socks. So that's my WIP knitting. That's quite a lot of stash is contained in those bags, really. Oh no, I have one more WIP. I lied. I have one more WIP, hang on. So my last WIP is a baby WIP, which is why I've forgotten about it. And it is not in a position where it's very easy to show you. It's tiny self. This is it. It is a very back edge and just beginning of a cast on for a baby sweater that I'm making for one of my childhood best friends. And there's a fair amount of yarn in here actually for this project. Arguably it could go in this basket, but I think because I'm going to need to use these different colours, I want at least one in there. Maybe the white can go in, maybe I should put the white in technically by my own standards. But these are the 2 colours that I'm using together with this white, to knit up my friend's baby sweater, and she's having her baby on Monday. So I'm not feeling like I'm going to finish it before she delivers, but I'm making it in a 3 to 6 month size anyway, so I have a little bit of time. But yeah, I cast that one on last night because I was like, I need to now do the thing. So yeah, I need to knit on that one. So again, that is coming with me. I think therefore all my WIPs would come with me wherever it is I go, along with my WIP basket, because actually the socks are going to be a quick one. They're also my nice work project. My Olga isn't that far away from being done now, really. My blanket I don't want to leave alone, and the baby one I need to knit that sweater like now, yesterday, basically. So that's WIPs, and that is again I'm just gonna lean you forward. Yeah, so this is why WIPs have to count in my stash, because if I didn't count WIPs, all of this would be counted as used, which it obviously clearly isn't. It's probably a good quarter of my stash is in WIPs. Then the other boxes behind me are separated into categories, and I am unsure of which of these will come with me and which of these won't, if I'm honest. So I'll talk you through socks first. This is socks. So I have a fair amount of fingering weight sock yarn, as I think a lot of people do, and all of these are destined for socks. So this is my sock box. This is Tiny Human Knits self-striping scrappy quilt sock set, which I'm so excited to knit up. I just had to knit my husband's first because I actually bought him the yarn for that in May of last year. So yeah, they need to be knitted first, but I really want to knit these up. These might potentially come with me as another sock project if I finish my husband's socks in the next couple of weeks. Other sock sets that I have is this one by Freckled Whimsy, which is Home for the Holidays colourway. And this is a Christmas colourway, but it's just such a beautiful one, and I don't think it screams Christmas, I just think it's cozy. So I think I'll probably be saving this for December in all likelihood. I have a lot of socks to knit, but it doesn't necessarily have to be, but it's probably not going to come with me. Other ones that probably aren't coming with me are this one, which was a new skein that I got for Christmas. This is Renaissance by Hedgehog Fibres. I love Hedgehog Fibres sock yarn, I just think it's so fun. And yeah, this one was such a new acquisition that it's still got a lot of sparkle and excitement around it, and I try to keep that for a little bit. So I think if I have to pack this one away or put it in storage, I will still be super excited to come back to it. And then I have this skein, which I need to knit in April, May. So could come with me dependent on our dates. This was dyed by Lorna Campbell Studios and is another self-striping sock yarn. It's in the colourway Mini Eggs, and I want to knit this for Easter. This is going to be my Easter pair of socks. And I think Easter falls in April, right? So yeah, end of March. So dependent on our move dates, maybe that one should be the one that actually comes with me. I then have one more skein of full skein of sock yarn, which is this one by Loom, which is a BFL sock in the colourway Honey Mustard. And I'm thinking about pairing this with some of my minis. So I think this could be a really nice pairing. This is Pebbles on the Beach by Bird Street Yarns. I think that could be kind of cute. The other one I think could be kind of nice is this one by the Dye Shack. I think that could be kind of nice. Or if I really wanted to go autumny, I could go for Harvest, which is by the Woolen Witch. So I kind of am drawn to this one, if I'm honest, and doing like a really autumny sock pattern with like contrasting variegated yarn for cuffs, heels, toes, and maybe like some lace in the sock. So I think that's what I'm feeling like, but equally I think these like darker contrasts could be really nice too. Let me know which is your favourite of those options. I think any could work potentially. And equally, I think these two could be okay together. So this one is by the Dye Shack as well. I'm not sure if it says what colour it is. No, I haven't got a colourway for this one, I'm afraid. It's like a kind of denim-y, indigo-y kind of blue. But this one's only 50 grams, so I definitely would need to do some pairing. Originally, I thought I'd pair with this one, but I don't think that has the kind of pop I'm looking for. So my choices, I think, are this blue and, this pink with the blue, or this orange with the blue. And I really do like the orange with the blue. I think probably if pushed, I would say, I think these two combinations might make the nicest pair of socks, but I'd be really curious to see what you guys think. And these minis, I say all, bar one, are minis of just sock yarn scraps that I've kept for myself because I find it super helpful when I'm thinking of what socks I should knit to have some contrasts. Okay, now we're getting into like the bit that feels more overwhelming. If I'm honest, my WIPs feel all good, all Gucci, I don't feel stressed by them, and my socks feel okay. I feel like I can envisage them all as socks. This is a problem. This is the rest of my stash that existed before 2026. I'm trying to split it by date to help myself use it a bit more effectively. So I'll tell you what I already have projects for and what I have enough for projects for. So I have the Scrappy Quilt mohair set. See if I can hold them all out. It's not necessarily the order they're supposed to go in, so bear with it. But the Scrappy Quilt mohair set by Tiny Human Knits as well. I adore this, and I'm planning on making a blouse with this, like a really thin striped blouse that I can wear like over the top of a tank top. I think that'd be really cute. So that will only use these. I won't need to buy any more yarn to complete that project. But I don't know if this is a project that I should be... I think probably this one's going to have to be packed in a box, right? Like I don't think I'm immediately going to cast it on. I have quite a lot of other WIPs available to me, and something like a sock maybe feels more achievable, like in the chaos of moving, than a full mohair like cover up would. I then have all this Knitting for Olive pure silk. I think in just the colour white, cream. Just keep finding it. And I actually frogged this from the Flirty. That was what I had it started in, but that one had some feelings attached to it, and I didn't want to continue making it. I think I might have one more ball of this. Do I have one more ball? No, it's just 5. And I'm going to make some kind of a summer top with this. I kind of like the Luna tea, I kind of like the clay tea, and I kind of like, is it called wave tea? I saw Knitting with Ev made it recently in, like, not in a summer yarn, but I was reminded how much I enjoyed that pattern. So this I think is going to be enough for a top, but it's not summer, so these definitely are going to need to be packed. Then the next project is one I think I know what I'm going to do, but I don't have enough yarn, and those are really awkward at the moment because I'm trying to use up stash. So I'm like allergic to having to buy new yarn. Like I'm mad about the Olga already. But past Sophie didn't buy enough. So it just feels tricky because not only my stash goes up, even though I'm going to use it down. And I'm just, it's just a bit conflicted about that at the minute. So these 2 skeins are gorgeous. They are called Arctic by Blue Fern Yarns. And I want to hold this soft silk mohair. It's Rowan's Kid Silk Haze in the colour, I think it's their cream. It says it's colour 612, but I can't see an actual colour name. But these are not equivalent in length, and I also think that the whites aren't quite right. So if you look here, this is way more cream and this is way more brilliant white. So I think what I'm probably going to do is de-stash these two. Just hurts, but I think I need to do that. It's really lovely. Rowan Kid Silk Haze is one of my favourite Kid Silk mohairs. The staple length of the mohair feels pretty long and I don't find it itchy at all, and it's quite expensive, but I don't think that this is going to work. I think that the undertones are different. I think this feels bluer and I don't have enough. So to cast on the rumour vest, which is what I want on it, I would have to buy more of this and the colours match, but I'm not happy with the colour match anyway. I think my decision's made. I think these are going to stay but go into the pile to be packed, and these are going to be de-stashed before we move, and then when I'm ready to cast this on I need to buy a cream coloured, not a white coloured mohair to go with it, and I'm not keen to keep this mohair just in case because I've already got issues with I'll put that down. I've already got issues with matching it in terms of dye lot, and I've really struggled to see what I can do with these two skeins. If I've been honest, I've tried to look for a lot of different patterns, so I think de-stashing these is the right move. I then have this bundle of stuff and this bundle of stuff is going to become a season sweater. So I have a number of Knitting for Olive soft silk mohairs in the colour Morning Haze, and I also have these two, which are my Handspun sweater spin that I did for Tour de Fleece this year with BFL with some like purple bits in, which I think is really cool, and I knitted a lot of it into a season's cardigan, and I hated the process of knitting it. So this is the same stuff, it's just this is what it looks like held together. But I need to start over, and I have enough yarn, I have enough yardage. I need to alternate skeins if I'm going to do a sweater, because I was planning on doing it a little bit differently with a cardigan, but so I will need to wind this one and then use two, so I will be carrying 4, but this is together so it might not be too bad. But I don't know if this is one I want to take with me. Part of me thinks it should be, because I should just cast it on and it's actually going to go quite quick because it's sport weight plus lace, so I think that makes worsted, right? And part of me just doesn't want to work on this because I've had to frog a whole project already, or like a lot of a project already. I'd got past sleeve separation and it was Fishman's rib, half Fishman's rib, so I'm a little bit stuck on that one. I'm not de-stashing it, but I just don't know whether I want to work on it between now and March. I don't think I do. I think it's going to go back in this box for the time being, and probably will be packed. And then I have 2 handspuns, which do have projects intended for them. This one I want to make the Honey Clutch by Petite Knit. This is an alpaca, and it's just lovely. It's hardly any yarn, but it's really drapey, but it's not, to me, alpaca I struggle with a little bit in terms of itch, and this isn't, to me, skin soft, which is what I thought I might have used it for originally. So I think having a little clutch which is lined anyway, because it's alpaca, would be nice. I just need to get around to doing it. This could almost be quite a good one to take with me because it will be such a quick knit, and it'd be nice to get this like out of stash. Maybe this is another one I should put. I'm going to put it down with my mini egg socks in case that's the one that I choose to take next from my WIPs. And then I have this skein of Barber Poling Merino, and I want to make a pair of gloves with this for myself, which will be super quick. So that one might live down there too, I think. I think that's the vibe. So I think all of this box now can go into being packed, and I will get access to it whenever I get access to it, which is kind of scary, not to have access to all your yarn all year. You're doing a stash down. And then I haven't bought any yarn, right? Remember I said that? Do you remember? When I said I bought no yarn in 2026? So this is the yarn that's come into my stash in 2026. So let's just chat about why that is. Oh, I lied, one of them isn't. This is my first ever handspun, and she lives with my stash, but is not in my stash. I am planning on, when we move, getting like a shadow box and framing her. I think that'd be super cool. To love my first ever handspun, but that's not stash, it's never been knitted. I have some yarn that has come into my stash because I have spun it. So I've done quite a lot of spinning already this year. These two are Coveney that I spun up by Little Fibre Co, and I love them. I want to make a traveller shawl or a traveller cowl with them. And I'm like, we'll talk about it in a minute, hang on. And then the other handspun is this one, which is called Strathtide, and it's just beautiful. This one was the house blend, which I think was Cormo, Rambolone, Romney, Kent Romney. Yeah, which is a really nice combination of yarns. And this one I want to do the night and day cowl, but with another spin that I'm midway through spinning, and that is the spin that's going to come with us between moving. Now I'm moving. And then the last handspun I have this year is this one, which is Mother Owl, and this is a Creative Anarchy dye, and it is 100% Polworth, which is super soft. This one's really pretty, but has no purpose yet. It's also got really nice sheen to it, right? Like, I think that's so pretty. But this one doesn't need to come with me. But yeah, the thing with the handspun, right, is I love spinning it. And this counts for me as using up my stash because it's using up my fibre stash. But it does add to my, like, bricks and mortar knitting stash. So yeah, I struggle a bit with that in a stash down. But all of that is handspun. And then I have 3 skeins that were gifted to me. So I have these 2, which my mum so kindly got for me when they were in Porto in Portugal. And this is beautiful, naturally dyed, locally farmed Portuguese wool. And I'm planning on making the Stella quilt pillow with this, which I think is going to be a nice project for our new house. So I think this one can definitely not come with me because it would be probably a really nice one to cast on when we've moved as like a welcome home project, and it's DK weight, but it also does need me to buy extra yarn. So that's another reason why I think that would be a good one to do later. And the last one is my singular sock skein that's separated from its friends. This is by Nomadic Yarns in the colourway Meet Cute, and it's the tweedy version of that self-striping sock. Nomadic Yarns is such an amazing dyer. I spend many a late night on an Etsy shop wishing I could buy everything now that I'm in my yarn low buy I guess, because I'm planning to do projects. So I kind of feel like technically none of this should be knitted now because this is new acquisitions, that should have to come secondary to this box. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to do a destash on these 2. We are going to take these 2 with me in the interim period, and we're going to take this one with me. So from stash, these 3 are the ones that I pulled out as needing attention sooner than the others, and those are going to go into my WIP basket because I think that makes the most sense. And then this plus my WIPs I won't pack, which is a lot of stuff. But I think that feels like the right decision because it would be really easy to knit up these gloves and the honey clutch and have those done. And it's nice to use handspun. And then this one feels seasonally appropriate. And I think I'd be annoyed if I had to wait a whole year to do that. So that would be my stash for the next month and a half to 2 months. Hoping that's going to be okay. I'll be so sad if I knitted everything through and had nothing else to work on. But it's like, I don't know, how much do I reasonably think I'm actually going to knit in a month? Like, am I mad? I have a lot of WIPs. Like, yeah, so this is what I have at the moment, and I think that feels right. I think this feels like an okay decision. It is tough, especially when you're stashing down. So that's going to be my choice. The reason that this is so like big of a decision as well is we're paying for stuff to go into storage, but it's not like a storage unit that we can access. It's our movers. They put it in like a shipping container, and then our stuff, like everything we own, just gets dumped into like a big pile of shipping containers that contain everyone else's stuff, and you literally can't access it until you move. So this is why it feels quite why I'm quite intense this morning, because when it's gone, it's gone. So I need to have enough yarn to work through to do my stash down, but equally, like with my WIPs, this is quite a lot to lug around for a month. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know about my sock pairings. Let me know if you think I should bring another project, or if I'm being so extra by having this many and thinking I need more. Yeah, and follow along if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more stashing down content. I am vigorously stashing down in 2026. So yeah, join me in my channel. Maybe check out some of my knitting journal ones. They're the fun ones about stashing down, I think. And I'll see you guys again soon in my next video. Bye!